And when we look at relationships, if we see a current trend, a lot of times it's people that are not satisfied in relationships. They ask, okay, what is going wrong? I'm in a relationship, or I'm not getting satisfaction from a relationship, and I want to understand what the problem is. And what we do is we can basically look at the current trend, and then we can look at the behavior. We focus on that behavior, on the collective circumstance that the person is experiencing, and then we go and we look at just that. We look at that as a energetic type of thing. It's almost like something that's come into existence that the person believes. So it's a belief, or type of a way that people see relationships. And then what we want is we want to project it back. So we want to get to a point in the past where it was formed. So our intention is then take me to the point where this has formed, what caused this, who was involved, and then we can basically get to a point in time. There's no mistake that I put it to 12 years old, because from 12 to 14 people really form the idea about the opposite sex. You really get this idea of what it's about. I would say that at that point in my life, I had a very skewed vision of relationships. I do feel like that's affected me, and I do see that in other people as well, in readings a lot, where this period is a time where people kind of look at the opposite sex, or someone they want to have as a partner. These days there's a whole bunch of shades of grey, and I don't really going to explain that. It just basically, if you see a person as a romantic potential partner, if you're going to look at them, how do you see them? What is your interaction with them? How do you see them? What is it that you feel they bring to you or bring to the table? How do you feel the dynamics work? So we can have a look at those sort of things, and we can see, okay, well, what happens? And we bring this up on our reading screen. I'll give one or two examples. Say, for instance, one of the examples is that some people believe that they should really make themselves hyper available. They should really put themselves out there, make themselves available, really make themselves noticed, and then the other person will reciprocate. What that does is that basically gives a person that puts in a lot into a relationship, that feels they need to pour a lot of attention into someone in order for that person to then find them attractive or worthy of being a potential partner. And this doesn't really work. It doesn't really fit in with the whole relationship dynamic. The relationship dynamic is very much almost like a touch and go thing. You have some attention, and you pull attention away. You put some attention, you pull the attention away. You don't, you give something, and you see what comes back, and you judge what comes back, and you play off whether this is something that you're looking for, and then you try something different. And this whole, it's almost like a dance. And a dance is really about a balance of movement. It's about a balance between two people. So you really want to see, okay, well, what is the balance between these two people? And then you want to see something coming from both sides. If you have people that pour a lot of attention into it, they'll get the attention from someone, but that person will engage with him because they see, okay, well, this person wants me. They want to engage with me, so I'll engage with him until I kind of like get to a point where I'm saturated, whatever I thought I was needing from this person. It's not really somewhere where I see, okay, well, this is someone that really ticks a whole lot of boxes for me. There's a lot of compatibility between me and this other person, and we have a lot of shared interests. We have a lot of combined things that we like, that we can share. We have activities that we share. We have mental stimulation. We have some kind of a sensual stimulation between the two of us. We have common goals that we're heading towards. We want to achieve similar things. Or you could see that, okay, well, you don't want to achieve similar things, but the one person is willing to provide something that you can use, and you've got something the other person needs. So if I'm having something that I can give that person, and that person can grow and they can be satisfied with what I can do, then and then I've got something that I get from that person that satisfies me. I really understand what that's like. I had like a relationship like this where what I love doing and what I love to give, and the kind of things that I do really satisfies this person, and what that person does really satisfies me, and there's this constant give and take from both people that really builds something strong, and has something that's very rewarding for both people. Doesn't matter what the lifespan of this is or whatever, but that is something that's very healthy, because both people give and take all the time. And what we can do is we can then see, okay, well, what is the idea that this person has, and what can they do to make it better. Most often, I would say there are a couple of very important things that people do need to do. So we're talking about changing things now. A couple of things that people can change. The only thing you can change in a relationship is yourself. So you can change yourself and your expectation. If you entered into a faulty relationship, or a relationship that doesn't serve you, you will probably run into some end, and either you start to work towards a point where it does become functional, or you work towards a point where you no longer have the relationship. However, there are two things about relationships that really need to happen, and that is that you've got to run out the relationship to its end. You can't, if you exit before that and it's not ended, it takes a long time to end the relationship when you're out of it. Then the other thing is, for changing things in a relationship now, specifically, the place where you change a relationship is you change yourself. You cannot, so that person has to know that they have to change something about themselves. Mainly, it's the idea they have about the persons that they're with, what that person's supposed to do, and what they're supposed to do for that person, and then also what their belief system is around relationships in general. So it's very much to do with beliefs, thoughts, ideas, concepts, and those sort of things. And then this is very much what we look at on our reading screens. So when people have problems with the relationships, that's what we can help them with. We can help them with those kind of ideas that they have and concepts they have around relationships. And then the onus is on them to then go forward and change it. Do we change it for them? No, we don't. They have to do that themselves. Psychologists are generally helping with a lot of coping skills. If that person goes to a psychologist with a very good idea about what they can change about themselves, what their beliefs are, and so on, from what you've told them, they can actually fast track the whole process to a point where they can really work on the healing side of it, on getting better at it, and the diagnostic end of it is cut shorter. So I really believe that with psychic readings, we can cut back on the diagnostic end of relationship problems, and then this is where the power lies. So we can really give them a good idea where things potentially go wrong. They can then investigate it, or they can investigate it together with a person that's trained to do this, a relationship coach, or a psychologist, or anybody to that degree. So that then moves over to them, and we just really look at what the dynamics are, and where, what ideas are formed in their heads, and we can really compare and say, okay, well, this doesn't really work, and now you've got to do the work on yourself. You've got to change this, and if you're in a relationship that doesn't work, well, you still have to do the work on yourself. Do it while you're in the relationship, get it right, and then once you feel like it's working out and you really are getting the skill set, then obviously now it becomes really easy to move along, because you've done the hard work and you didn't have to do it on your own. You don't have to struggle with the loss of a relationship and do the work for getting better at it as well.